I acknowledge the traditional owners whose land we are on. Brothers and sisters, one of the greatest human rights abuses in Australia is the denial of our spirituality. Ours is the oldest living culture in the world on the law of the dreaming and songlines, dreaming tracks interwoven across the continent. Our culture is maintained by synergy, the cooperation of the spirit world, humanity, in the process of regeneration. It is our fundamental freedom and responsibility to maintain our connection to our country. Our spirituality is bonded with the land and water. Denial of access to our land severely impairs the spirituality, mental, social and physical well-being to the degree of our people have some of the worst social indicators in the world. Oppression is a health hazard. Racism is a health hazard. Criminalisation, our differences, is a health hazard. Access to appropriate health service, education, housing are all important, but will not address the core issues unless our people have the right to self-determination and the right to our spiritual, religious freedom. It is our sacred duty to defend and protect our sacred land and waters. Many sacred sites connected with the energy flow of the metals and minerals in the earth, so-called mineral wealth, is in reality part of our mother, the earth, who is enduring desecrating, ongoing rape. As Aboriginal people, we have absolute no power within the colonial legal system to protect her. We have no right to veto. There is no negotiations of Aboriginal sovereignty over natural resources. Under the racist, yes, racist Native Title Act, traditional owners can only say yes to destructive development. This is an abuse of our human rights, of many rights in the Declaration. We are trying to protect our sacred lake, Lake Cowal, within the Wiradjuri Nation, from Barrick Gold, a Canadian gold mining company, which is desecrating the sacredness and also bringing in 6,000 tonnes of cyanide a year into the floodplains. But the National Native Title Tribunal advised us that if we claim the minerals in the earth as part of our inheritance, our native title claim will not pass registration test. We will not even get past the first gate. But in the federal court, we continue to assert the Wiradjuri sovereignty has never been ceded. Our case continues. At Lake Cowal, Barrick Gold has only had to consult with Aboriginal representatives, not even traditional owners. There is no need for free, prior and informed consent from traditional owners for consent to destroy Aboriginal cultural objects. Australia has not endorsed the Declaration on the rights of Indigenous people. We are asking, why is the delay? When will Australia sign on to the Declaration? Brothers and sisters, we recommend that the 7th Permanent Forum request the High Commissioner for Human Rights to investigate the Australian government relationship with Aboriginal peoples and examine the report where the Australian government is operating in breach of its ratification of the UN Convention in the elimination of all forms of racial discrimination.
Thank you. Can you please conclude now?
Evaluate Aboriginal claims that sovereignty has never ceded. Evaluate the assertion by Indigenous people that their fundamental freedom of spirituality and religious freedom is denied in most areas. Evaluate the importing of the UN Genocide Convention into domestic law and report on the restriction that only the Attorney General can take on a genocide case.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
If she is refused, there is no right of appeal and no right obligation to give the reason for the refusal. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'd like to remind the speakers, the interpreters are urging that we have to speak slowly because if you are speaking too fast, it cannot be interpreted adequately. And for your guidance, as we begin to speak.
With leaders of the surrounding tribes prior to our homeland and must say to the Permanent Forum on Indigenous issues for giving our organization this opportunity to report on the ongoing human rights violations perpetrated against the Crimean Tatars, one of the